You just tell me when to.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's I guess it was a really rough week for everybody. Like I said, I had like 60 registered, and even my mom, and she's not even answering my text messages. So I guess that's okay. I'm here to play. I'm here to have fun. We're gonna have a great time together, and
And maybe it was the confusion of, like, you remember I picked the date and then I was like, oh.
yeah, but I sent out, notifications, and then yesterday, I think you responded right after I sent out reminders in the email about today's class. So whatever, it's okay. This is a no pressure zone. We're here to relax and have a good time, and what will be will be.
I didn't look at the 2 Zooms. I re-registered after the date change. I wonder if people went to the other Zoom link, if there was 2 different ones. Did anybody join in with the link, the original link from the first one?
I think it's the same link.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was the same or not.
Yeah.
So I re-registered just to make sure I got the right one.
Well, if I don't know, because I changed. I don't know. That's a good. I don't know. I don't know anything. My brain is so frazzled that just. If nobody comes, it'll be recorded, and that's that. I can't stress over everything. How about we get started?
Okay.
All right. So let me just do my little intro.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. In case you didn't know where you were, we are with the Art Teachers Art Club, and tonight is do-it-yourself stamping, and Carolyn Scalan, did I say it right? Yay!
Yeah.
The longest time my brain kept telling me Scanlon, but it's Scalan, is going to lead us through the process. And here's my mother. Of making our own stamps, and it's a very easy and fun process. So I'm going to hand it right over to you, Carolyn. And
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm going to try to first share my screen to show you the artist I learned this from.
Okay.
Because it was actually, let's see if I can.
I'm going to pin your.
Okay. But it says disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, you know what? I have to make you co-host. Hang on. There we go. I should have done that when we first popped on. Do you have a presentation or?
No, I'm just going to show you the artist that at a virtual workshop that I attended that taught this. I'm just going to show you her website. She has a lot of visuals on there just to give credit to that person.
Gotcha. Okay, it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay, let me try to share again. Frozen. Sorry, I've got so many things on top of my laptop. I try to find my cursor. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So, can y'all see that? Can you see it's Sarah Matthews?
Yes.
Okay. So this is in the year that the pandemic started. I think it was that year, or it might have been last year in 2000. No, it was probably 2021. I attended something called Sketchbook Revival. A artist in Italy does this every year for free. And she gets these artists, and every day you can watch 2 videos and learn different art things. So I love it just as much as I love your art club thing. But anyway, this artist, I fell in love with her work. Her name's Sarah Matthews. And she, where does she live? I don't remember which it is. But what I love is she uses printmaking. Oh, I gotta admit somebody.
I got
Now I'm
it.
host.
Don't worry about it.
But what I love that she does that I never really thought about doing is she creates, instead of one big lino cut kind of print thing, she creates small ones and then stamps in layers of
Uh-huh.
color and builds like the pattern and layers and repetition of the different designs and colors. And I just really fell in love with it. I will
It
try to put
almost
her.
looks like fabric. It's gorgeous.
Yes, yes. And I just fell in love with it. So I'm going to try to put this again. I've got so many things on top. I might have to put it in the chat near the end when I move all my stuff. Okay. I'm going to stop screen sharing. Okay. So that year I went crazy making stamps. And I wonder, Steph, if you could, your mom's here. Is there, who else? There was someone else I just admitted. Oh, Annie was out and then came back. Okay. But I'll share it again when I'm done. Because I can't, my laptop's covered. But I bought on Amazon this set of just, it was, how many did I say it was? 10?
Yeah, 10.
10, 5 circles and 5 squares. And I just started with making abstract designs, and I have tons of them. I don't use ink as in printing ink. I use stamp pads, but I have tons of these, and I will show you. And then this year, just recently, I was started doing words. And words, you gotta draw it backwards. And stuff I put on this fly list, tracing paper and all. I will say I draw freehanded and pencil on mine, and I just do it that way.
You can draw backwards freehand.
Yes, I can.
Wow.
That's what one of my recent Facebook posts and brags to my students. A couple of weeks ago, I was teaching my 4th graders the 6 ways to create the illusion of space, and I was labeling them. And my document camera at school, for some reason, was showing everything backwards, and I was like, "Y'all are lucky Mrs. Scalan knows how to write backwards, because I've been carving stamps last week backwards, and I'm really good at drawing backwards.
That's great.
It's a talent I acquired." But so after I learned how to do all those, I started ordering more of them, and then I decided to. I still have not found these in an actual book, but I have all these signatures of books. There was like a 28-day challenge or something. Where's my number one? I don't know which one's number. And so I made a new stamp every day for how many ever days it was supposed to be. I forget how many days it's supposed to be. And I would fill my page with the stamps. So it was fun to just try to think of something new every day and then experiment with colors and layers.
That's so cool.
This must be day 1 because that's day 7.
Wow.
But I haven't put them in the full book yet. Wait, that's day 5. I don't know how these are in order. 8, I guess they're not in order. But but anyway, I had so much fun just creating just abstract designs and thinking about, wait, what can I draw next if I'm doing this for 28 days? Thinking about it, and then thinking about square and circle, and some of them I carved away and made it less circle where I took away the background. Like that one, I kept it as circle, but this one, I actually carved deeper to just make the design show up. But it was fun to me, layer in different colors. And this year I bought I was like, okay, my favorite ink pad that I'll show you. I ran out of colors to buy because there are no more colors of that ink pad to buy. And I was like, okay, what's another good ink pad that'll do them? So my favorite ink pads are Ranger archival ink.
Yeah.
And you can get quite a variety in them, and they're not too expensive. But I've bought every color there is. And I was there was something I was trying to get a certain color of a couple weeks ago, and they just did not have the color. I think I was trying to do like they didn't have orange. I was trying to actually do rainbow colors because something going on in my Texas Art Education Association was some of the higher up leaders in there were really pushing back against having things about race and LGBTQ and all that. And I was just creating art, just getting because I'm the chair of their EDI committee, and I was getting out my frustrations, and I was just creating art about speaking your mind and acting and being a voice for those that are not being heard. And I wanted all the colors of the rainbow. But so the tools I use, I don't change them very often. I feel like I'm missing one. I also now have 2 puppies, and my art supplies I've had to raise up higher and higher out of my reach and put them in rooms that I don't normally go in because they eat everything. So all my favorite things, I can't keep them around anymore. And as they get bigger, they can climb higher and higher and get to my stuff. So I think my smaller, that's a curved one. I don't have my V cutter. But like I have a square one that I like. Good. This one's square. Am I showing it? Can you see that it's square?
If you lower
Is
it
it
a little
blurry?
bit, yeah, you can see.
Anyway, that one's square, and I like it when I want to take away a lot of just negative space. It gets it away fast. This one's kind of curved, but I have some other smaller ones, but I don't know where they are right now. They might be inside here. But I use my cutters are just small. And I think I got them. I'm not good at taking this thing apart. Oh, I did it the wrong. So I actually bought enough that I could have my favorite blades and not have to change them. But I think I'm missing one of mine.
Actually, I tore my studio apart like 10 minutes before I came on looking for my blades. I could not remember where I put them.
I really should. I know I have 3 handles, but my whole thing was I didn't want to change back and forth. So I just bought enough handles to have my favorite blades. I'm about to put a smaller one on this one though. And I honestly don't know where.
That's okay.
Trying to change this one. Hold on. And when I take it apart, it takes me a minute to remember how to put it back together. Because there's like 3 parts of it. But during virtual teaching, well, last year, even though there was some face-to-face instruction, I taught virtually from home the whole year while I was recovering from my back surgery. And I tried to do a 5th grade version of this, doing cardboard relief,
by
and using
gluing
the
stuff down.
repetition,
By
using the
gluing-
repetition and the same thing. But it was really hard to direct virtually.
So you had them glue stuff on the cardboard?
Yes.
Mm.
And I tried it several different ways. I was, trying to, because it was virtual students at home that only had things around the house. I tried also putting, after they built the cardboard relief, do tinfoil over it to see if that would make, because I was trying marker prints, and then if they had paint, but I was trying to create a surface that did the same thing. And they could build the layers, but use things at home. Because I really love the layer and shape and line, color and pattern, and I can't remember how to put this together again.
How should we start? Should we have a design in mind or?
So I like abstract art, so I could start doodling and thinking about it. For students, I probably would have them draw it on a piece in their sketchbook.
Are you working on, like, we can't see your hands?
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to put this thing together again. I took my tool apart. I'm gonna draw straight on here.
Okay.
In just a bit. Nick, can you see if you could put this back together for me, please? Okay, hold on, I don't know how to put this back
What is it?
together. It's one of these,
Oh.
but here are the pieces.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to change to a smaller blade. I swear I have a 3rd handle, but I don't know where it is.
Hello, Nick.
Hello?
He's my art helper all the time.
Welcome to the club.
Also gonna need my pen. All right, so you can see my square now. So I just kind of sketch, I erase, I sketch, but after I get if I mess up, after I get my design, what I want it to look like, I trace it with a thin Sharpie. And that way, but you can do it on paper and do it that way. But this is the way I personally
What is
do
the
it.
advantage of tracing with the Sharpie?
Because I'm gonna mess up. When I'm doing my sketchy lines,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be kind of sketching on here, and if I change something, when you're sketching, you make it darker or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so the Sharpie is gonna help me know where my lines really are,
Okay.
because I'm not gonna be able to erase this perfectly.
Okay.
How
So
big
as
is this
an
little square?
alternative, you can draw on a tracing paper, right? And transfer from the tracing versus using the rubbing method onto the rubber plate, right?
Yeah, I've never done it that way, but you could do that.
My
Yes.
mother has her hand up. Yes. Yes.
What's up?
Ms.
How
Estrid,
big is this little square?
Oh, you weren't here when we were talking at the beginning. This little square is about 1.5 inches.
Oh, that's tiny.
Yes, and I can't copy and let me see if I can copy and paste. I put a link from Amazon in the chat. Steph, can you copy and paste that link?
let me see.
This is just, I also buy speedball like 4x6 blocks and I chop it up. But this, is it Roberta or Roberta? How do you,
Roberta,
this came in a pack in Amazon where you get 10, you get 5
Uh-huh.
squares and 5 circles.
oh,
And last year in 2021, it was about $13. This year it's about $16 or $17.
of course.
Yeah, but I like it because it's already that small size. And because I mostly do this for stamping and layers, it's the perfect size.
Is it rubber?
Yes.
Yeah, it's rubber.
I have this. It's about 4x6, and I guess I could cut it up.
Yes.
Yeah, so for the 4x6, I use an X-Acto knife to cut that up. This used to be 4x6. This was 4x6 speedball. And I just either freehand cut it or use a ruler and draw my line if I want it straight. And an X-Acto knife cuts it really easily.
Yeah, I've got a
Mom,
whole box of knives here.
I put the link in the chat again so that if you just click on it in the chat, it'll take you to the Amazon product.
Where is the chat?
At the bottom of the screen.
If you roll your cursor over the screen, all the things at the bottom of your screen should pop up.
Nick,
And
I need a fan too.
it should say chat.
I'm gonna lose you if I try that now.
All right, sorry about it.
I'm actually on my Kindle.
All right,
Yeah, I'll have to
Steph
try
can
it.
send it to you later.
yeah, I'll send it to you.
But yeah, everything I've tried, I actually bought this X-Acto knife just for cutting this because I tried other things around my house and like my husband cut it for me one day and I like that X-Acto knife for cutting that.
I just had a knife here.
What?
I just had a knife in front of me. Now what did I do with it?
And since you want to see me draw backwards, I will actually cut this into a block and do a word. And my blocks right now, I'm making very just random.
Oh, you don't
Hey
even.
guys, my internet is like in and out. So I'm capturing a little here, a little there. I can't even get it on the phone.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
but I'm catching a little bit. Are you guys drawing and cutting into this right now, or what's the step that
All right.
I missed?
So, I just have a partial block right here. I thought I'd show 2 things. I have a small one, but I also was just gonna cut this a little bit smaller and do a word
Okay.
on this, but just an abstract design on this one to show you
Great.
kind of both.
All cut up now. Thank you.
But this one's too big for me to use right now. And I am not measuring. I will say I am not an artist that measures very much. I don't, this is why I couldn't do when my original major was graphic design and it was all precise. I don't like precise art.
I'm gonna go grab something. I will be right back.
But what is cool that Sarah Matthews does too is if she has random, I had some like scraps, like little pieces, you can like carve these amazing little random shapes. Here's a random scrap, but I could carve that, like this is something I carved off of something, but you could carve that and just have these little baby, she has a name for them, I forget what she calls them, but random scraps of this can be really fun accents.
So we're just drawing right now onto our blocks.
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me, sorry.
How are you feeling, Steph?
Like death warmed over. But
You
I'm
seem
here.
to have a little more voice today, though.
yes, this is the best I've sounded in about a month, so.
I think we sound the same.
No, you sound normal. I do.
No,
I'm so
not-
sorry, Steph. That took a
Uh,
while. You've been sick for a while?
I got like this bronchitis thing that I get every year, but I got it
Mhm.
almost 4 weeks ago. And then it started to get better and it hit me in a really bad relapse last weekend. And the voice left
So I
me.
had mine, like
It's just been hard. They
Yeah.
tested me for pneumonia, for the flu, for COVID, for everything, and everything is negative. So they just threw me a whole bunch of antibiotics, prednisone, inhalers, and they're like, feel better.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Thanks.
And I
That's
have
what
a
happened to
Carol-
me. Mine went, I was sick for like about 3 weeks, got better, got sick again, and then he put me on azithromycin and prednisone.
Yeah.
And finally, after like 6-7 weeks, I started feeling better.
Oh
And
my
everything's good,
God.
you know.
Exhausting.
But not as bad. I mean, it is exhausting.
It's exhausting just
Poor thing.
trying to breathe and push out sound, and the coughing fits are horrific.
So this is kind of how,
Yeah.
like if I'm doing a word, I start with just handwriting it backwards, and then I build up the block letter
Uh-huh.
because I like to get my spacing and make sure it's written correctly backwards. I just need to write it normal. And then I just build it up. So this is where after I get done sketching this, I'll use the Sharpie to make sure I know what I'm actually carving.
Got it.
Okay.
And the first few stamps I do with this, you'll see some of this in the background, but it kind of just gives it some environment.
Bless you, whoever that was. I like texture.
That was
Yeah.
my husband.
Oh. That's okay.
He said, bless you.
I like the idea.
So are any of y'all drawing yours on tracing paper?
No, I
Yeah.
went straight. I went straight to the thing because you
Awesome.
made me feel brave. So I did it. And now I'm thinking about doing a word.
A word.
A word. Or two. How about vote, damn it? That's 3 words. 3 words.
Are y'all having crazy school board elections in y'all's areas?
No. School board? No.
Count yourself lucky.
Really?
I wish I could vote in the district that I actually work in,
Oh.
but I
That's
can't because I don't
that's
live in it. We have crazy people trying to take over our school board.
Why?
Where are you?
I'm north, oh, I didn't even tell where I am. I'm from Texas. I'm northwest of Austin.
Oh, okay.
So far, far, far extreme right people are trying to take over our school board, like
Uh-huh.
on the far, far right.
Wow.
Boy. It's crazy.
I did vote in the school district I do live in, and I voted for the reasonable people there. I just wish I could vote for where I work because I'm really scared.
The world is on fire.
Steffi, does Seth live in Austin? I forgot.
Yeah, I think so. My cousin lives in Austin.
Rosa is in Texas too, but I think she's in Houston.
And so is Abby.
Oh, right. Yes. I couldn't find the linoleum cut that I made years ago. I know it's here somewhere.
So everybody.
Another thing that's real cool, if you, I don't have it near me and I don't know where it is, but if you do scrapbooking, you might know what this is called. It's called a crocodile.
Oh, I love that thing. I just
You can
bought one.
punch this. You
Oh
can
my
punch this and have
What?
like circles, like holes in it, and that adds to it.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if I have any of those pieces that I did that to up here. But yeah, it's really cool. Like I bought it just for that purpose.
I don't do scrapbooking, but I've fallen into a multimedia black hole. Lack of a better, like I'm doing bookmaking and art journaling and making fodder, and the crocodile is just awesome for
Yeah.
a million different things, for like doing the keep forgetting what they're actually called, not only hole punching but to press not rivets, what are they called? Like
Grommet.
grommet, thank you. So those are really cool.
What is the tool called?
Crop, CROP, a dial.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's a big green thing.
There are two versions, one smaller, one bigger. It's a big honking tool, but it's easy for hole punching different sizes and then doing and pressing the grommets of the different sizes. It's awesome. The other thing I just bought, and I'm like spending myself into oblivion with all these new crafting things, is it's the Sizzix, the tiny little die cutter where you just roll it through with a little die, roll it, hand crank thing, and it cuts out all these cute little shapes and stuff if you have the dies for it. It was a starter junior thing for like $40 on Amazon. Really cool.
What material are you cutting with it? Paper?
Anything. It could cut paper. I haven't tried felt yet. I want to try felt, but paper, cardstock. I've been making a lot of printed papers on like butcher paper or deli
Uh,
paper. So it cuts all of that. It's really cool. I love it. All these new toys are so fun.
So I'm just using like just a 5-point Sharpie. Extra fine, I guess. is what
Oh,
it's
you
called.
outlined your stuff. Okay.
I'm not gonna do it on this one, on my abstract design. I'm just doing it to define my letters, so I know where I really want. Sorry, that's my dogs, my puppies.
It's okay. My kitten was up here a minute ago, squished in the only space she could find to see what I was doing. It was so cute. Is anybody going to the New York? Well, I guess I'm the only New York one up today. The NYSADA conference in Binghamton at the end of the month. Only one. No, okay.
I just got back from the Wisconsin, Minnesota one. They did it together this year. It was kind of neat. So they did a collaborative one. That was pretty cool.
Nice. That's really nice. I'm actually doing 3 workshops, hands-on ones. And then at the end of the weekend, I'm collecting my award for best art
What is it for?
for the it's NYSADA Region 8
No, what the word I missed it. It kind of cut in and out.
art teacher of the year.
Awesome.
I think that's incredible. That's so wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
you deserve it.
Thank
Very
you.
cool.
I mean, the little that I've paid attention and watched what you've done and you're traveling and what you do for the kids, you
Oh,
deserve it.
thank you so much. That's actually
get them?
the reason they gave it to me was primarily because of this group that I started. So that was really cool. And you know, I didn't think I was shocked when I got the email. Actually, initially they said, you've been, I can't remember the wording, but I thought I was just nominated. And I wrote them back and I said, well, how many other people, you know, when will I know if I won? And they're like, it's just you, baby. It's like, how cool.
No one else like you. There you go.
Thank you. So that's going to be a fun weekend.
That's great. Yeah,
It's
I just started a group with some of the teachers at my school, you know, because I started with one lady coming over and she wanted to learn. And then now it's like 3 or 4 people who come. And I said, you know, little by little, I'm not announcing it to everybody, but
Right.
like we've started out with calligraphy. And then the next thing we're going to do is some wet felting.
I've been wanting to do that.
I know, me too.
Oh,
So I've done
yeah,
the
I see
dry,
my
you know,
other
the needle felting, but I can't do needle felting with 5th grade. I mean, I could, but
This, right
I don't
there.
know. It scares me. So I want to do the wet felting and I'm going to do landscapes.
How would you like to do a session for us?
Oh, and this one has a small one on it. Now I need
Once you get the hang of it and do it for us so that we could play with you.
Okay.
No
Let me get the
pressure.
hang of it.
Yes, no pressure.
Let me get the hang of it and I will.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, because I have, that's what I'm like, okay, guys, you guys are going to be my practice field. Okay.
Okay.
Because I have you guys where I'm learning different things this way that I
Right.
can bring into my art class. The next one is going to be, I said, I really want to get into wet felting because, I mean, we do weaving and we do a lot of fun stuff, owl weaving, and then we did some purses. But I wanted to get, I really want to do the felting. You've got that, the last time that we did those peppermints, I had
Yes.
so much fun doing that.
Wasn't that cool?
And I want to do also like, Kelly, I think you did Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was so impressed. I'm like, oh, I want to do that too. I want to get like all those and teach the kids. And I think I could do needle felting, but I have to have permission from the parents because it is a sharp tool.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure it out. But so I'm going to start with the wet felting.
The yeah, my little Frida, I end up, when I do those little mini ones with the kids, I give them, we do the little, you know, like my Frida or whatever, or even like the peppermint would work. We do pin bags, and then that way they can either, you know, they can pin it on their backpack or whatever. So
Oh
we turn
yeah.
them into little mini pins.
Oh, I have the pins too. That's a great idea.
Yeah, the only thing I do is I make sure I put the pin back, instead of putting it in the middle, I put it like a little higher up. Because if you put it in the middle, the pin tends to like hang forward.
Oh, right.
A little higher up, then it hangs downward.
Right.
That's cool.
I'm
You should
still
teach
working
us
on my felting skills. So I'd like it if you teach more felting.
I think you should, Kelly, you should do one for Frida Kahlo, and we could do those little figures like that.
So cute. Actually, I'm doing the peppermint. I'm doing the candy felting at the conference. That's one of the workshops.
Ooh.
Do that one, and I'm doing the scrappy creatures that we did with the wire hanger and the plastic bags. And I'm
I missed that
also
one.
doing really I'm doing kind of like Lucy Sparrow felted donuts and food items also, but using actual, like making plushy food items. I could show you a sample. I started it with my art club kids today at school. Yeah, look, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, was that sewing?
Yes, with felt.
That is awesome.
It's stuffed. Here's the side view. I don't know. There we go.
There we go. Oh,
So cute. And I also did,
it's the needle felting that they did it with?
no, look at this one.
That's like a little mini Claus Oldenburg.
Wow.
It's like a plushie, a stuffed animal, but it's cake. It's a donut.
That reminds
Oh,
me
I
of
want
like
to learn.
Claus
Yeah.
Oldenburg would do the really big soft sculptures
Yes.
like that. That's what
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So that's what I'm doing at the conference. So that should be fun.
So
I
y'all,
mean,
I found my missing tool, and then I changed that blade. So I like to have a bigger one. I've got my square, wait, my square one, my little curved one, and my bigger curved one. Those are
Okay.
my three. And I don't like to have to change them. I like to have them on.
Annie, I've done some needle felting with my little kids, like really little kids even, or like some of my
Really?
kids, but
What age or what grade?
like K5, but what I do instead of using needles is I use a fabric called Smart Fab,
Okay.
and then I actually use the end of a paper clip. So we just take a paper clip and unbend the one little end, and you can felt with that. So
What?
All right. I am putting my
doesn't go-
email in, and you have to like.
it doesn't go
Good
into
info.
things as tight. I guess it doesn't go into things as tight. The friction's not as, because of it's not the barbed needles. So it's not quite, the friction's not quite there to really felt it together, but it
Right.
gives them the background knowledge at least. So then by the time I get them in my upper levels where I want them to use the needles, they can do it pretty safely because they've been practicing with the tiny little poking holes of the, yeah.
That's great.
And what do you stab into? What?
I still use the foam like we would use with regular
You have
felting.
the phone,
So-
right?
Yep. So I still have little chunks of foam, and I ended up just buying like I bought some foam
Smart
that
Fab? What is Smart Fab?
so it looks like I don't know. I'll see if I can find it on Amazon and I'll put a thing in. It looks like almost like a, I'm trying to think of what it's, I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's very thin and it almost has like slight little textured holes in it
Kind of
already.
like mesh, kind of
It's
like a
sort of meshy.
recycle bag slightly.
Or I was thinking even like, yeah, like recycle bag or like, it's like a cross between like a mesh and a tool almost, I guess.
Wow.
But
Oh, it's
anyway,
plastic. It's plastic.
kind of, yeah, it's got like a plasticky kind of feel. But anyway, and then, yeah, so they just needle felt, but like I said, I just take the larger paper clip and I just bend one part. So they have like a little handle and they have their little needle. And
Okay.
it does work.
And what do you use the smart fab for?
Needle felting with little kids, so they can use a end of a paper clip instead of an actual felting needle, which has the barbs on it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want
Right.
them.
And the barbs are what,
But
You know.
they're felting the smart fab?
Yep, they felt right onto the smart fab. And I actually, with my little guys, depends on the age. I mean, or, you know, or ability level. Like sometimes I do it with some of my adaptive kids. But sometimes I have them do it just even with like a cookie cutter. So I'll give them like a cookie cutter and they put a little bit of the fabric in there and then they just, or a little bit of the wool rather, and then they just felt right on there. So, and they felt inside of the cookie cutter, so they get little shapes and things like that. And then as I go to my upper L, I do just landscapes. We look at like Monet or something. So it's got that little bit of the impressionism so that you don't
Yeah.
have a real specific landscape, you know, it kind of has that little bit of a kind of impressionistic vibe anyway. So yeah, those turn out pretty neat.
well, Steph, I think we've got somebody here who could teach us. We could get somebody else. Kelly?
I do some needle felting. But yeah, that would be kind of a fun one because like I said, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, you could, because then you can take that needle felting from very, very low, like grade levels, and you can kind of bring it up slowly. And then that way, when they're older, you know, they kind of already have the basics. And you
Yeah.
know, then you just have to kind of warn them about like, okay, now these needles are barbed. So,
Right.
but
But that's a great way to introduce it. So I can start, you know, introducing it with my younger grades and then little by little as they get older and then transition them into it.
yep.
Okay.
And I did do, I used to teach just 1st through 5th, and I did needle felt with some 5th grade classes, but it just, you know, it's like we were talking earlier, it depends on that class, you know.
It does.
Uh-huh.
Have you had them the entire time? Do they know you? Can you trust them? You know, and
Exactly.
you know, I usually, when I did that with the 5th grade, I would start them in small groups where I could like sit right with them in needle felt. And then, you know, the other kids would be working on a different assignment where they could be a little more independent. And then we'd kind of flip flop. So I could work in small groups and kind of monitor a little bit.
That's what I would have to do with mine. I would definitely have to
Yeah.
work in small groups and create that kind of open, like, okay, we're doing this. We're doing like 2 projects at one time. So we're doing this, but then you're doing this independently over here. And then I'll, you know, do
Yeah.
that small group kind of activity.
Yeah, and that's how I started
Okay.
out with my older kids with the actual, like my 5th grade with the needle felting. Now I teach K-12. So now I would use
Wow.
Smart Fab with my elementary. And then by the time I get into my middle school groups, I would start introducing the needle possibly depending on the group, because even middle schoolers, I don't necessarily want to give them all barbed needles. So
I'm actually having, it's not just middle school, because I was going to do that project with my high schoolers this year with two particular classes. And every single project that would require a mildly dangerous tool, I've had to second guess myself, and I'm not giving these like I can't do it with these classes because they're really acting like 5-year-olds, and I don't.
Yes.
I can actually, I think I could probably do it with my 7th graders before some of my high school classes right now. Like it's
Wow.
opposite.
Where do you teach? With county or state?
I teach in Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll try to find that.
Oh, so frustrating. So I actually drew kind of Zoe, and now she's walking all over everything I just did.
Oh,
kitten, yeah. Okay. She came through and then jumped off the table.
You know something, I just started to try to cut this pink rubbery stuff.
Yeah,
It's terrible. I don't like it. I
why,
can't
is
get
it
it.
too soft?
Yeah. And it sort of rips.
Well, that could be the blade that you have. Try a smaller blade.
I have this tiny,
I can't see it.
I'm trying to get it in the picture.
Yeah, oh, I see it. There it goes. You look like now you're picking your nose with it. Oh,
All my tools are from 1955 to 60 at Pratt.
oh, so
You
your
need to order a
your
new
blade might be
blade.
dull, Mom.
Well,
You might have to replace the blade. It's not the rubber.
it doesn't give me any resistance, you know, like a piece of wood or the linoleum.
Well, are you using a wood tool?
I think these were linoleum tools here.
And you also, I've learned, like, you've got to do use gentle little carving, because if you try to go too deep, too fast, it doesn't
And
work.
if the blade is dull, it's gonna tear it. So you might, if you didn't buy new blades, that might be the problem.
Well, this thing that I bought came with a few brand new blades and this handle.
So try that instead
I
of,
just don't like the rubber.
well,
I'm used to a piece of wood or linoleum, but
I can't.
Carolyn, I am doing that small, with your advice right there, I'm doing smaller and it's a lot easier
Yeah,
going into card.
you
what
just
is
have to
the
slowly go
material?
at it.
Yeah.
What's the material that Grace is carved out of?
It's rubber.
That's rubber too?
Well, Grace, Carolyn, you didn't carve that yet, right? The word Grace,
Oh yeah, I haven't carved that yet.
and
This
that's
is,
rubber, right?
It's rubber, and like it's the same thing as this. It's
Like the soft cut.
yeah, it's Speedball's brand of it, I think, or it might be an off brand. I don't know what it is. But like, and some of
Well-
them, I don't know. Some of them are softer. some of 'em are a
Flexible
little
like
lighter.
this? Flexible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Here's the part that I've not drawn on. See, it's very flexible.
Then I guess this is it then. All right.
So I found this in the art room. So I took over an art room this year and it's a thin, it's rubber on this side and it's got the, peel back here. So I would have to use on this one, I would have to use like a very thin blade, right? Have you ever seen this
Oh,
before?
that's plain linoleum without being mounted? Or
Not
is it
mounted.
rubber?
It's got the, if a peel back here. So I
Yeah.
guess it's sticky.
So you would peel that and you would actually stick it to a board. So this is the same kind of stuff. I have this one, it's like a battleship gray one. This one actually has like a fabric on the back and you actually glue it to a board, but that one
Okay.
is a slightly newer style where you stick it to a board and then you carve it.
Oh, okay. All right, I brought it. I wasn't using this yet.
But I mean, you could carve it just like that. It's just, you're going to probably, some of the kids will probably dig through a little bit. So I would have something like underneath.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I would have to teach them to go very light on this.
Yeah, because I've carved in this before too. I brought this too. I was going to show you guys. If you are like super budget poor some years, I brought this. This is really thin too, but this is actually, it's a molding that you'll see it in like hospitals and stuff. And so instead of doing like wood molding, they use this real thin stuff. And
Oh,
you can buy this by like, I think you get like 4-foot sections or something like that at Home Depot. And it's pretty flexible too.
And you can carve that?
You can carve this too. And you can get it. This one is called footed. And you can see it's got this little foot. You can sometimes find it unfooted too. Otherwise I just carve that part off. I get rid of that little lip on the bottom of
Yeah.
it, little foot. But yeah, you can carve in this one too. The only thing what I usually have the kids do with this or with like the Battleship Gray is I have them warm it before they carve it. And sometimes we honestly just sit on it while we're doing our design because it just warms it up a little bit and it makes it a little easier to carve.
Oh,
But you can, I mean, you can iron it
no
or,
farting.
you could heat on it or whatever too, but just sitting on it just seems to be enough. They think it's hilarious too. So,
That's hilarious.
and like the Battleship Gray one, like these ones, like the actual lino cut Battleship Gray, you can get like way more, I guess, meticulous cuts with this, like very detailed. But like I said, it's a little harder to cut. So that's why the soft cut stuff is, kind of used more often. But the other stuff, you get really, really intricate cuts and really neat line work. It's just a matter of warming it up first.
Okay.
So that floor thing, or whatever that thing, what age kids do you use that with?
I've done that with like middle school and up. I'm not sure I would do this with the younger kids unless, again, you have that golden group or whatever, fifth graders maybe. Just because just the gouge tools themselves, I don't really like with those kids. I also make sure that they all use bench hooks though. So everybody has a bench hook so they can push against it and carve away. Do you guys all know bench hook?
No, what is that?
So here I have one here. This is my bench hook. I got a bunch of stuff on it right now, but so it just looks like it's just a board. Or
Okay.
you can buy metal ones too, but it's just a board. It's got one chunk of metal or one chunk of wood here and the other chunk here. And this part clicks into the table. And then that way they carve against the other piece here. I'll try to turn my camera and see.
Oh,
if-
and
I have always
carve
wondered what that
towards it.
is, and now I know.
Carve away from you into the wooden.
Into the wood.
Yep, so you
I
can see
have
how-
it. I have some of those. I didn't even know what it was. I was like,
So you can see
I'll
it.
learn.
Yep, this
One of my
side is
classes
on
will
the
teach me.
table, this side, then that way, when they're carving, especially bigger ones, I mean, these little ones are a little tricky, but when they're carving with a bigger one, this rests against here, and that way they're pushing against it, and it's hitting against this thing and keeping it
I
from
have
sliding.
no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a safety
Yep.
tool. Yeah.
So then that way you're not putting your hand behind something trying to hold it from slipping on you, and then you don't end up slicing your hand. So yeah, anytime I carve with them, I make sure they're using a bench hook.
I love this class. Learned so
Anybody
There's
have
so
tips?
many cool things.
Anybody have tips for making some of your wonderful block printing ink a little bit more reusable? Like, for instance, I'm not quite sure how old this is because I just inherited an art room last year that was in shambles, but it was one of those, like I worked for like the entire summer cleaning like 10-hour, 12-hour, 14-hour, 16-hour days, like just
I did
cleaning.
the same.
Yeah. But all of a sudden I found like this box and it was like covered in garbage, and it's like, most people throw it away, but of course I dug through the whole box and I found like $1,500 worth of printmaking ink in it.
Ooh,
But a lot of it is dried out. I'm thinking, I know you can add just a little bit of water to kind of like, reconstitute this, but because it's in these little packets, I'm wondering if I just have to slice the ends and just squeeze them into a jar or something first to mix it, or does anybody have
Is
any?
it water soluble or is it?
Yeah. Yep.
What if you bought? I hate to tell you to buy stuff because
No, that's where I'm at though. I'm like,
like if you buy little containers at the dollar store and squeeze it in and then mix it to water it down, you can use the
yeah, because like when I've had this in the jars,
uh-huh.
like you can get the same stuff in like a jar instead of the
Right.
tubes. And then I just, you can add a little water and kind of, mix it in, but with these, so I'm thinking if I just cut this end of the tube, I can squeeze it down into a jar and then, okay.
and use a palette knife to just scoop it out. Yeah, definitely I would do that. And then the only thing is if it smells bad, throw it away.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. None of them have a smell. A lot of them are just, I mean, this one is pretty good and it's the same year as those ones, but the problem I think is the ones that were partially used the air got into them a little more, where this one was this one's full. I don't think it was ever touched. So this one stayed a little bit nicer.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they don't smell.
Well, that's good. Worst thing I ever smelled in an art room was when I was checking my acrylic paints that I hadn't used.
Yep.
Oh my God, it smelled like an animal died in the container. It's the worst thing ever.
I had a little girl who lost her smell from COVID for like 2 years. Like she hasn't had smell. And all of a sudden last year she was painting toward the end of the year and she's sitting there and all of a sudden she had this strange look on her face and I said, what's going on over there? And she's like, does my paint smell? And I was like, I think my paint might smell. And by the time I was walking toward her to see if her paint smelled, like 3 of the kids at her table like got up and like walked away and were like, what is that? And they were like freaking out. And she's like, she's still sitting there all calmly because she can still barely smell anything. It was rancid. Like the whole room basically wanted to evacuate and she's still going, does it smell?
Wow.
It is the worst thing ever. Yes. That's when you take it and throw it right in the garbage.
She actually had started painting already on her sculpture. And she told me this year that her sculpture still smells.
Really? Even after it's dry? Oh, wow.
And it's a year later and she's like, my sculpture still really smells.
That's when you just want to avoid being blamed for poisoning your children, accidentally, because you don't want to buy new stuff. That's the worst. It's horrible. I was trying to be cost effective, but poison control, man, not a good idea.
I have been wanting to do this for so long. I'm so excited about this.
Me too.
Working on these.
Me too. This is so fun. And
Wish
I've
I
just
had
been
this.
so exhausted and I just needed this to like motivate me.
Yeah.
What was the name on the stamp pad again? Is it Ranger?
Ranger
Ranger's a really
Archival.
good brand.
Hold on.
It's a really good
There's
brand.
Ranger Archival.
Ranger.
And then
Okay.
here's my other one. Someone recommended an art teacher friend of mine when I was looking for more colors. She recommended this brand, and this one's cool. Memento. Wait,
Yeah.
I see it. Memento.
Memento, because these, you can just like if you want to have multicolors, these have this little narrow space that you can just tap and turn over.
Ah.
And do multiple colors on one stamp. And they have a lot of colors. Memento has a whole bunch of colors. But the other thing that artist Sarah Matthew does is when she starts doing her color, she builds light to dark, but she also doesn't always like clean her stamp or anything. She lets like the residue just be a part of.
Oh.
Kind of like with jelly prints,
Yeah.
one layer
Yeah.
over another. It
Yeah.
gives it a real aged kind of cool textural thing happening. Yeah.
And there are sometimes when I'm going from light to a way darker and I can tell I need to like wipe it off some.
Ever do this with your kids? I'm checking mine right now. I take my Sharpie and I go over it like lightly, and then that way I can see where I've carved and where I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I kind of just color back over it just to make sure I've got the areas where I want it. Checking mine right now. If you had I don't have a stamp pad with me, so if I had a stamp pad, I would have just stamp pad, just to check it, but I only have ink and I don't want to ink it up yet.
you had a marker, you could also like do just a regular marker and stamp it. But I guess the Sharpie does the same thing.
Yeah, well, the Sharpie will actually just stay on it. It doesn't
Yeah.
come off, so. Yeah, if I had, yeah, just a Crayola, I would do that too, but yeah, this is all I have is with my Sharpie with me right now.
I'm having so much fun. Okay, can I stay up all night doing this and not go to work tomorrow?
Oh, God, we could just
Stay up and play.
play.
Yes.
You
Yes,
go
I
today?
would love that.
I think I'm gonna have my art one kids are gonna be starting some block prints soon. And I'm gonna have them do a little bit, bigger one, but I think I might have them do these first, just to get used to carving and just so they can keep it real simple with the geometric shapes. And then what I think I might actually have them do is just like, just basically like put it in a share pile so that we can do some of the layering so that they can borrow each other's stamps and kind of,
I think that would be so cool.
yeah.
That's why I'd like to figure out how to safely do something like this with 5th grade. Because I think they would have fun, sharing and layering,
You know, you
exploring.
can try, it's hard to get them now, but remember those horrible erasers that used to like crumble and fall apart?
Yep,
Like
the
you could,
gummy erasers.
yes, the gummy erasers, you could have them like use, maybe a toothpick to pull out their design or a little like spoon or something. You could carve
Think
out
about the like the foam printing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do foam printing with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess with the foam printing, you could do it the same way. Maybe just did small shapes.
Yeah,
I have foam. I guess
yeah, I
just
do.
roll with
I order a lot of
Yeah.
those, and we'll do foam. We did one with lighthouse and building big rocks and the water scene, and maybe do a bird back there. We've done portraitures with it. Oh my God, what's his name? James Leeson. He African American artist who just did printing. I know. But I like doing the foam printing.
We did so where I'm at, because we're a lot of little towns and little small districts around the area, we kind of all get together and we call it the Association of Student Artists, and we all get together once a month and celebrate like an artist of the month. And then at the end of the year, we do a big show together. And like when we do the show, we do like a little awards banquet kind of thing. But before the banquet starts, they have little snacks. And this year we set up the foam prints and markers at the table. So as they're waiting for things, they could go in and they could just print. And we put like probably about a 4x6 printing thing there, and they had pens, and then it just had the directions on one side of how to carve and the other side had how to print, and we just threw Crayola markers all over. And it was really fun to see, because at the end of the night, some of them were actually printing, like we had like runners going down the middle of the table, and they were like just paper runners, and they were actually like printing on the paper runners and turning it into like big huge pieces. And it was really fun to see what kids would do, just throwing them out there and just, these are the directions, have at it.
It sounds so fun. And you do this once a month?
The once a month, what we do is each of our schools chooses a student, and we take a half a day with those students who are chosen for Artist of the Month, and we go to a luncheon that's at a little it's actually a private supper club here. They host us, and so we go and they have a little lunch, and then we all put the art up. So we bring little easels and we put all the art up, and the kids kind of talk to one another and kind of do a little mini critique of sorts. And then when that's done, we have local artists that come in and do like a little mini workshop.
Oh, that's a lot
Wow.
to do once a month.
Really lovely. Yeah.
Who plans that?
Our group. So it's like, well, we started out, there's 6 art teachers. We just added 2 more from other local schools that wanted to join us. So there's going to be 8 of us now this year. So
Wow.
Yeah, we get together at the beginning of the year and we just, we kind of go through all of our schedules and try to figure out what days we can have it. And then we start thinking of just different artists that we know, or, and we start making phone calls. And yeah, this year we actually filled all of our slots like right away. So we already have all of our dates picked and we already have all the artists. So this past one was actually a former art teacher that runs a greenhouse now. And so she did like some kind of flower arrangements with the kids, and then they sketched their flower arrangements after they made them. And then
Wow.
the next one is in November, and the next one is a macrame artist who does like macrame plant holders and things like that. So she's going to just teach a little macrame thing. There's a gentleman that we have that is an oil painter. He comes and he does like a 5-minute oil painting portrait of each of the kids, and they
Wow.
love that. And while he's doing the oil painting of the kids, the rest of the kids just do figure sketches of the person. So they all sit around and draw too with him and their sketchbooks. Yeah, so each one is a little different. We have a stained glass artist that'll do a quick stained glass piece with the kids, and yeah, it's really fun.
Wow.
So is it like the oldest grade of your school, or any grade?
This is our high school
Kids?
students. Yeah, these are high school students only. So
Okay.
it's 9th through 12th.
Okay.
So yeah, it's unique though. It's just really kind of a fun program, something totally different. And so yeah, usually there's 6 times that we do it throughout the year for those smaller ones. And then we kind of try to skip like December just because it's a little bit of a crazy month as it is. And so we skip a few of those, or we skip sometimes like February, March, we'll just do one together because it's just, there's too many things going on with spring breaks, and all of our schools are different because like I said, some are Michigan, some are Wisconsin. Because I don't know if the rest of you, I live in Michigan, work in Wisconsin. So our schools are on all different calendars too. So, but then at the end of the year, yeah, then we have the big giant show, and we have a portfolio review. So we have local Michigan and Wisconsin, I shouldn't say local, but Michigan and Wisconsin colleges, art schools come and they send somebody and they do a portfolio review with some of the kids, sign up and go over their portfolio. And it's kind of,
Wow.
Wow.
it's a pretty big undertaking, but it all just kind of flows now that we've done it so many years.
That sounds so great.
Yeah, our teachers
That's-
actually started it when I was in high school. So I did this when I was in high school, and now
Wow.
I get to be on the other end of it. It's pretty fun.
You said macrame, that's having a huge resurgence right now.
Yeah.
And I would love to learn how to do that. I remember my mother doing that with camp kids and art kids. And I never, it never did anything for me, never caught my interest when I was little. But now I'm seeing it everywhere, and it's kind of a nostalgic, like, now I want to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I have there's a woman in town who makes like miniature, like macrame earrings. So I have like a pair of her earrings. They're little macrame.
Oh,
And then the woman who teaches, or who's coming to teach our workshop, does like I said, a lot of macrame plant holders, and I have like an obnoxious amount of plants. So I bought a ton of plant holders because I had to get some of them off tables and somewhere else. So I have a bunch of those hanging. But I think part of it too is like just the colors, like the macrame. You can get so many different colors now too. So it's not so drab and always that same.
With the white, that was the only thing you could get at one point.
Yeah. Or there's like a tan color. I don't know. I've seen macrame dog beds, which are hilariously cute, like hanging dog beds. And yeah.
Yep. Everything. I love it. I would love to do
Yeah,
it.
I would love to do the macrame. I did, like I have for early finishers, they can do clipboards, and I have them doing bracelets, so they learn the knots,
Right.
which is a good step. Then you can do the macrame, but I haven't done macrame in ages.
Was it in the 80s that we did it?
Oh
I
God.
think so.
Maybe before that even.
I think like 70s, surged.
Yeah. Well, everything is retro now. Everything is coming back. Makes me
Right.
feel old. Makes me feel old. God. This phone, Did anybody finish their carving yet?
Getting close.
I finished my circle.
I'm feeling very frustrated.
Oh, I am loving this. I am doing a big one with, I do these girls, you know, with the dresses and stuff, and then like an abstract background. So it's like a big stamp.
Oh,
Not really a stamp because I don't have anything small. But it's like it's a big one. I don't think you can.
I'm trying to do an
Yeah.
R and I'm trying not to cut my finger off.
Can't really.
I love that.
Yeah, the pencils kind of, but it's
You know what? I'm gonna pin you, Annie, because I can't see it. Hold on. Oh, look how cute that is.
yeah, just very abstract.
Yep. And I'm gonna add mom's pin. Add a
Did
pin.
you,
Okay, let's see yours. Hold it up again, Mom. How close up.
A pretty fancy are.
Yeah,
I'm
that's really
impressed.
fancy.
Oh, nice.
Why are you frustrated?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying the cutting on this rubber. I'm more used to wood or linoleum from
Got it.
years ago. I mean, I remember the feel of it. This is like, I don't know, it's trying to cut Jello with a razor blade. It feels funny.
Well,
And also
I
my
don't know
old
what to say about that.
my old tools are not really usable anymore. And I don't have a knife. What do you call it? An X-Acto knife? I should have one, but I don't know where it is. So
Well, if you want, at some point, we can have a play date and you could come over and try with.
yeah, when
different-
we're both healthy again.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Just
I'm
to
gonna
put
hold-
out there.
I'm gonna hold up
Oh.
mine. Let me pin
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at that.
mine.
So you're doing a big one?
Well, I did these guys, which I really like, but then Carolyn started talking about the words. So I kind of wanted to make a big word that I could then stamp on some kind of textured background, because she also mentioned creating textures and layers. So I
Right.
thought I could do these and then put this,
Senior.
right.
So
So
you're basically taking everything away and leaving a thin line for each letter.
yes,
I see. And that's rubber?
everything that's green is what I've carved away. See,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
because this has the green in the middle. So
Why
this
is yours green and mine is pink?
different brand, it does.
Is this a different brand or
Yeah,
what?
I guess so. Yeah. So we'll see what it looks like. I'm gonna keep going.
How far down do you cut?
I don't know,
Halfway?
16th of it. You don't have to cut that far down
No, I wouldn't
because
think.
you only need to remove enough so it won't print. So you don't have to go so far deep into it.
And why is your top layer white?
Because it's made so that when you carve it, you can see what is positive and what is negative.
And that's better than mine. Mine is pink. On
It's not
top.
better or worse. It's just different.
Well, it's easier to see what you're doing.
I'll
way.
save you a piece and you can try it. You may feel it's no different and you'll have the same problem, or you may like it. You know, it's
Okay.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Oh my God, do you guys realize it's 8:30 already?
8:22.
No, it's 8:28.
Oh, my watch is not right then. Oh, my phone says 8:28. That's right.
So did anybody stamp anything yet, or are we still, do you want to keep going for a couple of minutes and, or not ready to stamp anything yet?
I'm not ready. I don't know.
Probably won't be stamping tonight.
Okay, so then if and when you get to finish these, and I know that as soon as we log off, we put it in a pile, and we may have to have a session called Finish What You Started.
Didn't you have one of those one time?
What?
I think you had one of those, or you
I
said you-
tried it.
They're
and
back. I'm back
nobody-
now.
Nobody came.
Yay, I'm back.
Hi.
I almost have my We Chill F done.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
great.
Oh, wow.
I just have a little bit left, not too much, but yeah,
That looks really great.
it's just sitting here waiting to be finished.
Yeah, we should have an end of the year. Let's finish what we started kind of party.
I will say I did finish the watercolor sampler. That one I got done.
Oh, wasn't that awesome?
I mean,
love
I could keep working on it, but it technically was done.
You could totally keep going on that.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys finish and stamp stuff, put it on the post with my advertisement so that we can see your work with the flyer on Facebook or wherever you saw the post.
Mhm.
How's that? Does
Okay.
that work for you guys? So that we could see everybody's results?
Yep.
Okay.
And then Annie, I did grab your email, so once I get to school and I get the list of all the things that I use for the,
Oh, yeah. I'm going to soak your brain. I'm going to be like, okay, tell me about this one.
Yep.
With this.
I'll get
Oh, another
That's awesome.
thing, I just remembered, and you probably do this when you do printmaking anyway, but if you're gonna do it in a pattern or whatever, mark which way direction you're doing it
Yeah,
Ah,
on it.
Right.
definitely.
mark it on the back
Oh,
of the
Yeah.
board.
This guy,
Texture.
this was with this ink pad.
I thought
Yeah, it
that,
has a weird
you know
texture.
what's
I don't
funny? I thought that was a coffee pod.
know.
Oh, that's really pretty. I like that color too.
But yeah, I
I
just try
like
to,
that color.
if I don't mark it, I just try to keep holding the stamp the same way.
Well, I don't want to.
I'm holding it in my hand. I'm holding it in my hand right now. And
I love that. I love that.
with the little kids too for this, I have carved like a ton of these myself, like just the little ones. And then for the little kids, instead of them actually doing the carving, they just do the stamping. So they get used to the like, stamping, and they just, you know, they don't necessarily do the carving. We looked at African Adinkra cloth and then kind of went from there, and they did it's, I don't know if you know the cloth, it's stamped, and it was used a lot of the times, it was used for like funerals, and they created their clothing and things like that. But we kind of talked about how it used to be used, how it could be used nowadays, different things. And they actually do a lot of different printmaking. So they print with burlap, and then they kind of we looked at that, and we looked at kente cloth too, and we looked at the weaving of the burlap versus the kente, and so then they printed with some burlap, and then they did some lines, almost like plaid lines going across, and then they use some of the stamps to kind of do the Adinkra part of it. So they look at the African textiles, and then they just kind of create their own little textile looking picture with different types of printmaking.
You know, if all else fails, I was laughing at this because I watched a video, but my mother, when I was, 100 years ago, when I was little, we used to,
I'm not that old.
no, I am, not you, me. We used to do potato stamping.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, potato stamping is fun.
Yes. So if you have the little
Ah.
kid, you could buy the potatoes, cut them in the little ones in half, and give the kids a spoon, and they could like scoop out.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yes. Yes. I had flashbacks watching this video, and I remember doing it with my mother. Like when I was
We
little.
did it in the house in Spain or when
I
we came
think
back.
so. I think
Really?
so. Yeah. Yeah. And you could also show them, like, if you bring in, I don't know, if you have old vegetables you want to get rid of, like cut open a cabbage or a celery heart and show them the insides, and that they can stamp these things and have all kinds of different textures from nature also.
Yeah, I've done the
Yeah.
celery, the fruit and stuff and veggies with my adaptive class. When when I was in Green Bay, I had a severe adaptive class that was, they would come separately.
Yeah.
And so we would use that and they would do like roses with the celery from the end of the celery. And then around, I'm not even thinking, it's like St. Patrick's Day or whatever, if you slice like a green pepper, you almost
Yeah.
get the, like, so we would do things like that too, and just look at the shapes that they would stamp, so.
Yeah. I actually took a PD at the Museum of Art and Design a couple of years ago. It was for teachers. It was probably one of these PD days where, you had to pick something to do and go there. They literally had an entire table strewn with chopped up vegetables and fruits and vegetables. And we got to print with all these fruits and vegetables. I think I took a photo of all of the pile of fruit and vegetables
I
at
remember
the end
that.
of the process with all the paint all over it. And it was so gorgeous.
I remember that.
Yes, I love
Yeah,
that
yeah.
photo. That was so much fun. And then the photo itself at the end of it was just, nature and fun and beautiful and big mess, but it was wonderful. All right, Carolyn, thank you, thank you so much. I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to go throw some dinner down my throat and come back to this. And I will post this video hopefully by the weekend. And if anyone finishes and stamps anything, add it to the post that you saw on Facebook.
Okay.
Because I'm curious where everybody ends up with this stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a smaller one tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe tonight. I don't know. I might do it tonight.
Great.
Might
And
try
don't
this one.
forget, next week we have another workshop.
Oh.
My brain is just completely shot. The art, I can't remember his name, but he's doing color wheels with folded origami paper.
Ooh, I saw that post.
I did
Yes,
them already.
yes. So that's next week. Come, because it's a different way to do color wheels, and I'm sure we're all sick of the regular color wheel stuff. So this is something new and different.
Did you post it already
Yes, I sent it out already.
today?
No, 2 weeks ago. I sent it at the same time as I sent this one.
Oh, I'm gonna have
Oh,
to
that's
look.
probably why I missed it.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one either.
Yeah.
Check your emails, check the posts. Did I send it out?
I don't think I saw it either.
I don't think so.
Now I'm worried. Okay.
I don't
So I
think you
guess that's
did.
what I'm doing tonight. I'm sending that out tonight.
Yeah, I saw his posts, and I actually I did it with my 7th graders.
Was it cool?
It turned out really cool. And then I actually had them draw the origami that we photographed their origami first, and then they, took it all apart. I actually had them with my little 7th graders. I had them just draw right on that piece of origami and paint it versus he used like tracing paper to trace his onto canvas. I just had them actually just go right with that paper. But then I gave them the black and white photo of their origami piece, and they actually pencil drew that piece too. And so we have this whole display with their paintings, their origami drawings, their pinned up origami. It's a pinned up. It's really cool. I like how it all comes together.
He said he was gonna break it down for us and give us multiple methods of getting it done. So
Very cool.
I will totally now send out those emails. So,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
Let
So,
me put in the chat the name of that artist. I moved my,
Sarah Matthews,
yeah, let me put her web,
okay.
let's see. Or did I already do it? I don't remember.
Well,
I
it's
don't think I
Sarah
did.
Matthews,
Right,
.com.
there's her
I
website.
am sarahmatthews.com. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, girls.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. Lovely
Thank you,
seeing
thank you, thank you, Carolyn.
and
Awesome.
See you next week.
All
Good
right,
night. Good
All
night.
right.
bye.
Night.
Good night.
So